3, 2, 1. Hello there, welcome to another episode of Tab Talks 2, and tonight I am joined by Mr. Ben Perkins.
Hello there.
Hi, how are you?
Not bad, thanks, how are you?
Good, I'm fine, thank you. So, Ben, I understand this is your first time with Tab.
It is, yes. I've done a couple of shows for a different theatre company. Recently gotten into the theatre scene, kind of. And yeah, I saw this play advertised when I went to see the previous play at Tab. And it looked really interesting, so I went up for it, auditioned, and
here we are. Yep. Fantastic. So can you tell everybody at home what Flare Path is about from your perspective?
Flare Path is obviously a World War II play to do with the RAF, and it's bare bones. It's like a sort of a love triangle story with a lot of spirit, and it really what I like about this play, it really encaptures that wartime spirit that they had in Britain at the time. A lot of the female characters are very strong. When the men go off in their Wellington bomber to go overseas to bomb Germany, they really, they've got that strength about them, and they say, look, all we can say is there's a war on, we've got to accept it and get on with it. And it really showcases how strong people were at the time. And of course then you've got the added drama of the love triangle between my character, Ian's character, and obviously Patricia, played by Kat, and I think that's a very...
Yeah, there for a second.
Is there two cats? It's very confusing.
Yes,
it's Cat with a K, I was thinking.
That's right, yeah. Okay. So as you mentioned, your character is within the love triangle. So can you tell us a little bit about him?
Teddy he's the flight lieutenant of a Wellington bomber, so his job is to fly the plane overseas and basically bomb Germany. Mm-hmm. And he comes across as quite authoritative and strong in his first few scenes, but later on in the play, what I like about his character is that he starts to display more vulnerability, especially in Act 2, not to spoil it too much, but in Act 2, he does start to show more vulnerability and shows a lot of mental health struggles he has by doing this horrible job of having to fly overseas, potentially get killed every night. Well, not every night,
but then, as you said, it's the grim reality of the war.
Exactly,
Very typical journey that someone who isn't from this background has now found himself in.
That's right, Really, sort of thrown into it, and he doesn't really want to do it, but he's still brave enough to do it, and he's trying to keep his strength up to not show his vulnerability to his sergeant or his team. Exactly.
And his wife.
And his wife,
But no, I mean, I think definitely your character's one of the most layered, I would say. So like an onion in that one. Everyone else is kind of straightforward. There's a lot of layers to Teddy, isn't there?
That's right, a lot more going on in his brain at least, because he's trying to keep up this pretense of, I'm fine. He's not really, he's bottling it all up, but it all just comes out eventually,
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting.
Excellent. Well, thank you for that. So, just talk about some of the other things that you've done. So, is this your first period piece, or? It
is, I've worked on previous plays in a different company, and they've either been very sort of wacky and out there and very stylised, sort of a lot of physical theatre type things. And also I've done like a modern piece as well. So this is the first period piece I've done, and I'm glad I'm doing it going in Flare Path, because it's an era that I'm really interested in.
Okay.
In the World War II 40s era, I find that an interesting part of history, a grim part of history, but very interesting. So
absolutely.
All the period pieces, I'm happy to be doing this one, definitely.
Great, and do you think you'll be doing more with Tab going forward?
Yeah, I hope so. If I see a player catching my eye, like I did with Flare Path, then I'll be straight on auditioning.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, that's really good to hear. Well, thank you so much, Ben, for joining me tonight on another episode of Tab Talks 2. We'll see you next time. Thanks, bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey.